Imagine standing in front of a judge, not for your first offense, not your second, but after a lifetime of breaking the law. A rap sheet so long that it spans decades, featuring dozens of crimes. When 51-year-old Matthew Wadsworth walked into a Texas courtroom, he thought he was just facing another standard sentencing. But when the judge opened his pre-sentence report and actually saw the staggering scale of his criminal history, the entire courtroom fell into absolute shock. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking you inside the courtroom of Judge Raquel West in Jefferson County, Texas. The defendant on the stand is facing a severe charge, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The hearing begins with Judge Raquel West addressing the defendant, Matthew Wadsworth. Now, Wadsworth had already entered a plea of guilty to a second-degree felony offense, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. In the United States legal system, prosecutors and defense attorneys often negotiate a plea agreement to avoid a lengthy trial. In this specific case, Wadsworth's attorney, Mr. Rojas, managed to secure a cap of 8 years. This meant that regardless of how angry the judge got, the maximum time Wadsworth could serve in prison for this specific deal was limited to 8 years. But before delivering the final sentence, the judge has to review a document called the PSI, the Pre-Sentence Investigation Report. It details the defendant's entire life and criminal background. As Judge West starts flipping through the pages, she looks up at the defense attorney and says, "Mr. Rojas, just based on the criminal history alone in the PSI, it looks like you did a very good job of getting that agreement. That's actually doing a favor to Mr. Wadsworth." Why would the judge say that an 8-year prison sentence is a favor? Because Matthew Wadsworth's rap sheet isn't just bad, it is historically massive. Judge West begins to read the felony criminal history out loud, and the numbers are absolutely mind-boggling. Wadsworth's lifestyle of crime apparently began in bunches all the way back in 2002. He would get arrested, get sentenced, serve time, get out, and immediately do it again. According to the official court records read by Judge West, Wadsworth has a staggering 19 misdemeanor convictions. On top of that, he had 20 other misdemeanor charges that were either dismissed or filed away due to plea deals on other cases. That is a total of 39 misdemeanors. But it gets much worse when we look at the Sangene crimes, the felonies. Wadsworth has 21 prior felony convictions on his record. 21. And that's not counting another 16 felony charges that were dismissed over the years as part of various plea bargains. He even has another active felony case pending right now in the state of Indiana. When you add it all up, this one individual has been involved in roughly 37 felonies and nearly 40 misdemeanors throughout his adult life. The prosecutor sits in disbelief as the sheer volume of his criminal past is laid bare before the court. Knowing he is backed into a corner, Matthew Wadsworth asks the judge for permission to read a personal letter he wrote while in custody. He claims he wrote it because he gets incredibly nervous speaking in public. Wadsworth delivers an emotional plea, painting himself as a victim of his environment and mental health struggles. He tells the judge, "I'm a drug addict. I can't hold on. My parents were drug addicts, and I was sexually abused as a child." He explains that when he is on his psychiatric medication, he is a great guy, a journey electrician, a father, and a grandfather. But he claims that right before this violent assault happened, his house burned down, his dogs died, his tools were lost, and all of his medications went with them. Without his meds, Wadsworth claims he started hearing voices. He genuinely believed his roommate was holding his girlfriend hostage against her will. He even tries to minimize the crime by telling the judge he didn't hit the victim with a baseball bat, as the police report stated, but rather with his walking cane. He begs the judge for probation and rehab instead of prison, saying he just needs help staying on his medication. But Kanun, the law, demands accountability, and Judge West wasn't about to buy into the excuses. She acknowledges his apparent sincerity but delivers a massive reality check. "The problem is, you're 51 now," Judge West states. "You know you have these issues. You've been given opportunities. Even if I give you probation, at some point, you have to stay on your own meds. We can't require someone else to force you to do that and take a chance with the community of you hurting someone else." The prosecutor chimes in, pointing out that Wadsworth is still trying to deflect responsibility by lying about the baseball bat, noting that the victim was actually injured when a heavy dresser was thrown or fell during the violent struggle. The state argues that probation has repeatedly failed to deter him in the past and demands the maximum prison time. Finally, Judge West makes her ruling, and she doesn't hold back. She looks directly at Wadsworth and says, "There was a part of me today that was considering not even accepting this plea agreement, because with your criminal history, personally, I think it's ridiculous." However, honoring the legal agreement put forward, she officially finds him guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and sentences him to 8 years in the Texas Department of Corrections. Because of the deadly weapon finding, his chances of an early parole are slim, and he completely waives his right to appeal. Immediately after Wadsworth is escorted out by the bailiff, the court moves on to its next case. This one involves a female defendant named Bethany Batten. Batten was facing a third-degree felony charge for assaulting a security officer back in late 2024. What makes her case unique is that she was previously found completely incompetent to stand trial and was committed to a mental health facility for competency restoration. After months of treatment, a medical report finally deemed her mentally competent to understand the charges against her. Batten enters a plea of guilty, and Judge West sentences her in accordance with her specific plea deal to 2 years in a Texas state prison. Two very different cases, but both highlighting the delicate balance between mental health struggles and public safety in the American justice system. What do you think about Matthew Wadsworth's sentence? Given his shocking history of 21 felony convictions, do you think an 8-year cap was a massive failure of the system, or did the judge make the right call by honoring the plea deal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this courtroom breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more intense legal drama and true crime content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.